It is your June mortgage and real estate update, and I think I have some very good news for buyers. Actually, I don't think, I know I do. So let's talk about what's going on. First of all, rates are still very low. We're not seeing them get increased. There's nothing dramatic. The volatility that we saw in February is gone. Thank you. That was rough. We're seeing really stable rates right now. And there is, of course, the fear of inflation that we will see kind of rear its head on occasion, and we'll see rates pop up a little bit, and then we'll see that fear go down, and they'll go down, and there's definitely a back and forth going on that, but there's nothing dramatic. So rates are still great. Number two, we are seeing more loan programs. I have a 5% jumbo now. I do. I have a 5% jumbo. And we'll be talking about that later as well. So we're seeing more loan programs. Rates are still low. Okay, what in the world is going on with the market? Is it still competitive? Yes, it's still competitive. And I tell my clients this every single day. Guys, if you want to get a house in this market, the two keys are patience and persistence. You gotta be patient, you gotta be persistent. It might be the 10th offer, it might be the 15th offer, it might be the 20th offer. But what I consistently see is every single time that 15th, 20th, 25th offer gets accepted, they literally say to me, I love this house, it's not like the others. Yeah, call me, sentimental or a Californian, but I strongly believe that whatever's meant to be will happen. And if your goal is to own a house and you're visualizing owning a house and you just go at it, put your head down and you keep trying, looking, writing, it will happen. It will happen. And for the people who are like, oh, well, I need closing costs and the real estate agent said that the seller will never pay it. I don't believe that. Is that true on all houses? No. Is it true on some houses? Absolutely. But it's not true on all houses. So I think it's very important to not get dissuaded, to keep a very positive outlook, because from where I'm sitting, the people who are positive, persistent, and patience, oh my gosh, it's the 3 Ps, not the 2, they do end up in houses. And some people are like, well, you can't get a house in this market. Guys, if you couldn't get a house in this market, I would not be sitting here doing these videos. I would be at the pool. I wouldn't have a team the size that I have. It would just be me, a Mai Tai, answering my phone once a day. That is not what is going on. There are houses to be had. Okay, so very important to know. The other thing is, I do think it's going to get a little bit easier on buyers this summer. And the reason is there's a lot of people who have been, they don't have the 3 Ps. They don't have the positivity, the patience, or the persistence. So they wrote a couple offers, and now they're like, ooh, it's sunny, the lake's open. Let's go to the lake for the summer, honey, right? There is a lot of that. We have the whole reopening, COVID restrictions lifted. So there's a lot of people who would have been house hunting who are now traveling. They're visiting their grandma. I mean, they are off the scene. So what you guys need to think about is, yes, we have a basic supply and demand issue, but also there was nothing else people could do except for look at homes for many parts of the country. I mean, California, during parts of that lockdown, we were told we could only go out of our house to exercise or get food. Like, there's a limit to how many shows on Netflix and Hulu you can watch. Trust me, I've seen them all. So a lot of people were focusing on real estate. And now that the world's open, we're seeing that focus shift. So for the buyers who truly want to buy homes, you will be seeing a change in the water. Are prices going to go down? No, I don't think so. I mean, supply and demand still have that issue. Is it suddenly going to be you can have any house you want? No. The difference is going to be if you're in a market where there's 50 offers, there may be 10. If you're in a market where there's 10, there may be 2. I also think we have an adjustment coming potentially, and this is market to market, because you guys have to understand, I'm a licensed mortgage originator in 46 states. So some of the factors in certain states that are driving the market are very different than others. Like, you know, Texas and Florida, that's a tax play, that's a, you know, a politics play. There's so many different factors going into why people are moving there. Tech play, all of it. Whereas in other states, it's a lifestyle. It's a, I don't want to be in an apartment locked up, I want to go to Idaho, right? Not to say those markets will definitely slow, but depending on the market and what the driving factors were, I do think certain markets will definitely see an adjustment in terms of how competitive the offers are, but also a realigning with the sellers. I have seen, you know, a lot of houses listed recently where we're like, what? Like, they're literally listed like $200,000 over what they'll ever appraise for, and it's in markets that aren't that competitive. Because what's happening is, just as the buyers are reading the newspaper where it's like, oh, the houses are $1 billion. Well, the sellers are too. So there's a whole batch of sellers that, regardless of what the real estate agent advises them, are listing houses now higher than what the market will bear. And once again, if you're watching this going, every house sells, well, you're not in that market. But I definitely do see those markets where I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see how this one plays out. So good news is on its way. I think we're seeing a shift. As people are out and about, there'll be less pressure on real estate. So it's good news. If you guys have questions, if you have comments, if you want to get pre-approved for a mortgage, I am licensed in 46 states. Did I say that? 46 states. And I'd love to help. My team would love to help. This is all we do all day. Thanks for watching.